Whether or not with meteorologist Joe Bastardi, I'm actually in the green room over at Fox where I'm about to be on Hannity. So you may be seeing this after I'm on Hannity. But what I wanted to go over was the last 4 days of my company's tracks. It hasn't changed appreciably. Here we are Tuesday night. It's actually over here, so there is an error there. And then Wednesday night. But the overall track is probably going to be good. It's just the timing. Trying to get timing down from 4 or 5 days away can be tough. This was the forecast we issued September 1st. And what we did was we started comparing it to Matthew to show people how it looked compared to Matthew. So it says Wednesday evening here. Now, the intensity was overdone. I like evaluating what we did, but this track looks pretty good. Here's this morning's, and you can see we've always had this landfall, the North Carolina coast. So I still believe that's going to happen. It's going to be darn close if it doesn't. But this is going to be a big problem from Georgia northeastward to Virginia Beach, and perhaps sideswiping southeastern New England. There's a lot of talk about, with Dorian stalling the way it is. And, it just leads to people saying things that apparently they're not cognizant of what has happened with other hurricanes. For instance, Dorian happened to stall here. You look at Hurricane Carol, stalled 2 to 3 days up to the north. So nobody cared that it was stalled here. They cared when it went into Providence and shoved 13 feet of water up into the city of Providence. So that was something that it was cared about, but no one cared that it stalled in there. Flora invited the wrath of Fidel Castro. You can see it, Category 4 hurricane entering southeast Cuba and taking 4 days to leave. And Fidel supposedly accused the United States of blocking the storm. Now, that is really strange to me that he would do that, because after all, just imagine if someone said, hey, who's our biggest rival, okay? If someone said, this country has the ability to block storms, I'd be like, well, hama Ed Norton, like, how can we stand up to them? So that was interesting, to say the least. There's 63. This is Ginny, which made 2 loops here, a third overall loop, finally went up to Maine, and actually went east of Maine, went into Nova Scotia, but the only death from Ginny is, despite her being a hurricane and looping around over here like this. Now just imagine this takes 4 or 5 days to occur in your backyard over there. You think you're being driven crazy by the forecast track of Dorian. At least Dorian's not going to make 15 different loops. Well, that's not 15, but 3. The only death from this was when a roof collapsed due to a foot of heavy wet snow that fell on the western side of it. Here's Betsy in 65. Now, see that? It took 2-3 days to go through there. What if that occurred right here? Right? So it occurred to the northeast, and then it started moving back to the southwest, and then, of course, hit Louisiana, went through the Florida Straits there. But look at this. It had 2 bends here, right? These were minor loops, but how unusual is that? Okay, goodbye, we're going out to sea. Nope. Goodbye, we're going out to sea. Nope. Finally, back into the Gulf of Mexico. And here is Ginger, 1971. I think it was on the charts for 30 days. So move out here. Now, there was a ship out here called Easy. It was a data boy, Easy. And the storm spent 4 days within 50 miles of it. And so they had far from an easy time with that. And then your final loop came back to the west. I remember when it was here, it was very cold in Atlantic City. All right. And the big high got out to the north. And then as it started coming back, it got nice and warm in the northeast. I remember watching this go into North Carolina, trying to figure out why isn't it going to turn up toward us, because but you had a big blocking high in the northeast. But look at that track. So here's the moral of the story, and I always, like morals. Hurricanes have always done weird things. All you need to do is go back and look at all of them, and then perhaps we won't get the hysteria about, oh my goodness, this is a sign that the entire planet is, being destroyed. It's not. It's nature doing what nature does. That's it for now. Enjoy the weather. Only weather you got.